In this demonstration, we're now going to take a look at how we would move resources between resource groups. So let's head over to the Azure portal. Okay, and in the Azure portal, what I need to do is just find a resource group with some objects in them. In fact, I've got one here from a previous demo. So if I go in there, you will see that I have a number of objects. If we scroll down, you can see I've got a virtual machine, a NIC, a network, and a disk in there as well. And perhaps I want to combine this with other resources or just move it to a brand new group, for various other reasons. So how would I go about doing that? Well, first of all, let's go and create our new group. So we'll go back to resource groups, click add, and we'll just call this one SL new group. And we'll click create. Okay, and that's created. So if we go back to demo 6, where our resources were from a previous demonstration, and go ahead now and you'll see this button that says move at the top. Simply click that, and you see you have two options here: move to another resource group or move to another subscription. So it is possible, if you've got multiple subscriptions in your account, to move the resources to another subscription entirely. Sometimes if you convert it over to a CSP provider, you might use the move to other subscription option. But for the purposes of this, we're going to go with the first one, move to another resource group. So we'll select that. And you'll see here you can choose the resources you want to move, or just select all of them. Move these resources to, and then we'll choose the resource group, SL new group. Now, one thing to note, there are certain things that perhaps can't be moved. So you've got here a particular alert that we'd created in one of the previous modules. You can see how it's the metric alert we did, and that resource cannot be moved. But it will remove the actual resources themselves, but we may have to go back and reconfigure some of the metric alerts there. And it does prompt you again, I understand that tools and scripts associated with moved resources will not work until I update them to use new resource IDs. So any of those scripts maybe you've got tied to a resource group, because it's using the ID, you may need to update because these resources will potentially have a new ID when they are moved. With that said, go ahead and click OK. It'll validate. And if all goes well, that will just succeed and your resources will be in a new resource group. But let me show you what happens if you actually get an error on this. And you might see something like this: validation failed, click here to see details. If we look at this, you can see the error details, and in this case, this subscription is not registered to use Microsoft.compute/managed resources move feature code bad request. And this is because currently you cannot move managed disks between resource groups. So that's something to note, because we do encourage you to use managed disks throughout the VMs module, but then it does restrict you in terms of moving them between groups, and just something Microsoft needs to fix hopefully in the future, and then that will be supported. But with that said, you can see how easy it is to move the resources, but they have to be supported, and this concludes the end of this demonstration.